born in Bay City, Michigan, it may not be that surprising that in my adult life, I wound up in the Detroit area. Well, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Well, usually an 100-mile drive for me turned into a 4,700-mile journey to get to my new home in Royal Oak, Michigan. This all started when I was 18 years old and I packed my bags to move from Bay City to Big Rapids, Michigan to go to Ferris State University. Ever since I was a kid, I thought I had an interest in fighting crime. So Ferris seemed like a good choice because they have a great criminal justice program. About 2 weeks into this criminal justice program, I started thinking, what am I doing here? I'm not like anybody else in my class. So after some soul searching, I decided that I fit in better with the corrections people more so than the law enforcement people. So before I knew it, I was learning about how to be a parole or probation officer and even how to be a prison guard. I was pretty happy with where that led me, but I still picked up another major in sociology to kind of supplement what was going on because I do have a really big interest in research and how people interact together. After 4 years of this, I didn't really know where I fit in the professional world, so I did what a lot of people these days are doing, and I applied to a couple grad schools to buy myself some time. Before I knew it, I was packing my bags and driving out west to attend Arizona State University to get a master's in something called justice studies, which is also known as human rights. Now, I need to share with you a little secret. I had never been to Arizona before. That also means I didn't go to Arizona to get an apartment. I had the great idea to find an apartment on Craigslist, sign a lease through the mail, and just go. 3 good things. The apartment really existed, it looked just like the pictures, and the person I was moving in with was just as nice as she was on the phone. All was well. What I didn't know is that it's 120 degrees in August in Phoenix, Arizona. So here I was, sweating my brains out, moving into my new apartment. Things improved once I got to campus. They not only had air conditioning, but they also had people just like me studying human rights. It really nurtured my interest in incarcerated populations, and it allowed me to complete my study called Hard Time and Hard Love, the issues and challenges of visitation for the men of incarcerated women. Not only was this an amazing study to complete, but I'm proud to say that no one else has done a study like this before. Researchers to date have only focused on the women of incarcerated men, and I don't know why I'm the one that figured out that there was a missing link, but I did it, and it's awesome to be able to lay the groundwork for future studies. Now to supplement this exciting time, I also volunteered with an organization called GENIS Team, which stands for Getting Inmates' Needs Addressed. Well, I had a vast role in this organization. The thing I'm most proud of is teaching a civics class to incarcerated women. Not only do we focus on the workings of the government, but we also focused on female empowerment through realizing, regardless if you have the right to vote, you can be politically active. This time in Arizona completely changed my life, and 4 to 6 minutes is not enough time to share it all with you, so stay tuned for further explanation of this life-changing event. Like many good things, this did have to come to an end. When I was defending my thesis, my bags were packed, and most of my things had already been mailed back to Michigan because there was another leg of my journey that needed to be accomplished. I needed to come home. My family was here, my boyfriend had moved back 6 months prior, and it just, Michigan needed some help, and I'm ready to help, so I decided to come back. I was a little bit more prepared this time because I did have a house waiting for me that I knew existed, and no questions there. But what I didn't have was a job. So I'm starting to see a trend that I don't plan things out completely, but coming back to Michigan in the economy without a job, or with the bad economy without a job, was really challenging, but I thought I had the motivation that it took to overcome these barriers. About 6 months into my unemployment, I decided to enlist in the AmeriCorps. And thankfully, I was placed with an organization called the Michigan Prisoner Reentry Initiative. And that is actually where I was trying to work anyway. They just didn't have any full-time staff positions open. So I'm really looking at this as a foot in the door to really do what I love. The MPRI, which is actually now known as Prisoner Reentry. I work in the Washtenaw Division. There's actually 14 of these around the state, and I think there is one in Oakland County, but again, there wasn't any positions open. But what we do is we help people who are exiting prison within the first 6 months get reintegrated back into the community. And it's my role to help people find employment. And I'm happy to say that today one of my guys got a job, so I'm doing good. But I really love this job, and I love that in the beginning I wanted to fight crime. Well, guess what? The good work I'm doing with these returning citizens is actually keeping our community safer. It came full circle. So even though I now only live 100 miles from home, it really did take me 4,700 miles and a master's degree to get here. I have no regrets. I'm happy to be exploring the Detroit area and getting to know my new Toastmaster Club. Mr. Toastmaster.